morning students. Welcome back to your English literature class. In our previous video, we have discussed about the story, summary and setting of the story Old Man at the Bridge. Today, we will proceed with the same chapter Old Man at the Bridge. Now open your workbooks, Treasure Trove, Collection of ICSE Poems and Short Stories, Volume 2, Chapter 2, Old Man at the Bridge. After watching this video, you will be able to understand the theme and critical appreciation of the story Old Man at the Bridge. You will be able to understand what is the style of writing. Students, you will also be able to understand what is the title of the story Old Man at the Bridge and why it is suitable. And you will be able to write character of Old Man and the soldier in your own words. First of all, students, we will discuss about the theme of the story Old Man at the Bridge. Students, a theme is a central topic, subject or message within a story. The writer is trying to convey the message through his story. Many a times, theme is what the author wants to teach one through his writings. Let us start our reading. The story Old Man at the Bridge deals with the theme of resignation, depression, and impending death. The old man who engages himself in conversation with a soldier is a fatalistic hero of the story who is resigned to his fate as casualty of war. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Resignation, leaving. Impending, be about to happen. Fatalistic, anyone who submits to the belief that they are powerless to change their destiny. Students, the story Old Man at the Bridge deals with the theme of resignation, depression and impending death. The old man in this chapter engages himself with a soldier. He is a fatalistic hero who has resigned himself to his fate. When the soldier who is concerned about the safety of the old man tells him to walk up the road and catch a ride on a truck to Barcelona, he tells him that he is an old man of 76 and he is too tired to go further. So he resigns himself to his fate. Then the soldier reflects that he is sure to be killed once the fascists advance to the bridge across the Ebro. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Fascists, a person who is extremely right-wing. Ebro, a river of Iberian Peninsula. Students, the soldier tells the old man to walk up to catch a ride on a truck to Barcelona because the soldier was concerned about old man's safety. But students, the old man refuses to do so because he is 76 years old man who has travelled 12 kilometers long distance on his foot. He was tired and was unable to walk further. His life is prolonged by the fact that the day is overcast and the fascists cannot launch their planes. His mind is eased by the fact that cats can look after themselves. But aside from that, the soldier says that nothing can be done for him and his death seems certain. The soldier seems more affected by the inevitability of the man's probable fate than by the old man. On the other hand, the old man is worried about the fate of his animals. He cannot get rid of the thoughts of safety of his animals. This gives him depression. When the soldier tells him that it is best not to think about his animals, he is unable to stop thinking about them. This leads him to depression. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Prolonged, continuing for a long time. Overcast, cloudy. Inevitability, quality of being certain to happen. Depression, misery. The soldier is concerned about old man's safety, but the old man is worried about the safety of his animals. Students, though the soldier feels pity for the old man, he cannot do anything for him. According to the writer, it is only the old man's luck that cats can look after themselves and the facets cannot launch their planes as the day is overcast. At the close of the story, the narrator bemoans the old man's impending death. He asks him to walk and catch a ride on the truck to Barcelona. But the old man expresses his inability to walk due to fatigue. The soldier begins to feel pity for him and says there was nothing to do about him. Students, write down the meaning of difficult word. Fatigue, tiredness. At the end, when soldier finds himself helpless in helping the old man, he bemoans at his fate, as there is nothing to do about him. Now students, we will discuss critical appreciation of the story. Students, critical appreciation means to evaluate and analyze the story in order to have a better understanding. It consists of some steps like conversational form, first person, metaphor and symbol, and language. Students, first of all, we are going to discuss conversational form. The short story, Old Man at the Bridge, is in the form of conversation between a soldier and an old man who had to leave his hometown during the Spanish Civil War. The story conveys the problems faced by the people as victims of the war in the form of a dialogue. The conversation advances the story further and takes it to its logical conclusion. The theme of the story and the characteristic traits of the two characters involved in the conversation are revealed through conversation. Students, write down the meaning of difficult words. Spanish Civil War. A war fought between people of the same country, and the country is Spain. Victims, sufferers. Conclusion, ending. Revealed, disclosed. Students, Ernest Hemingway has written the story in a form of conversation between a soldier and an old man who is the victim of the war. The writer explained the problems faced by the victims of the war in form of dialogues, which takes the story further and gives a logical ending to it. First person. The story is written in the first person and narrated by a nameless soldier whose duty is to observe the advancing of the enemy. The soldier has captured the atmosphere of war and the helplessness of the people as victims of the war in his conversation with the old man who was forced to leave his hometown and animals behind. He has explored the region and the situation by suggestive hints. The first person narrator helps the reader to identify with the scene of threat and helplessness. Students, write down the meaning of difficult words. Captured, caught, explored, discussed in detail, region, area. Students, the story Old Man at the Bridge is a first person narrative, in which the narrator himself is a character of the story. The readers become aware of the events and characters of the story through the narrator's views and knowledge. Here, the soldier is the narrator whose name is not mentioned in the story. He has created an atmosphere of war and showed the helplessness of the victims through the conversation with the old man. Students, first person narrator helps the readers to feel the feelings of the people who suffered during the war. Metaphors and symbols. The story abounds in metaphors and symbols. One of the symbols is the bridge, which represents uncertainty and dangers. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Abounds, having a large number. Metaphors, a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it is not literally applicable. Symbols, signs. Uncertainty, state of being in doubt. Students, Ernest Hemingway has used a lot of metaphors and symbols in the conversation. For example, African-looking countries of Ebro Delta and it was a grey overcast with a low ceiling. These both are the examples of metaphor. Here students, bridge symbolizes uncertainty and danger. The pigeons symbolize peace and harmony and the fact that they fly away from the war. Maybe the reference to the refugees who flee from the war to a safer place. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Symbolize, represent, harmony, ability to go together well. Refugees, people who are told to leave their country. Students, the pigeons symbolize peace and harmony. The fact that they fly away may be a reference to the peasants and refugees who leave their hometowns to find a safer place for themselves during the war. The cat is a symbol of independence who doesn't need anybody to survive. But the goat is often used as a sacrificial animal. And this probably represents the old man who reconciles himself with his impending death. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Sacrificial, made to be used up to fulfill a purpose. Impending, approaching. Students, cat is a symbol of independence as they are independent enough to look after themselves. But goat symbolizes sacrificial animals who are used by others for particular purpose. And this probably represents the old man who submits himself to the approaching death. Language. The story is narrated in a conversational form and the language used is simple. But several simple words are symbolic in significance. Style is lucid and intelligible. The dialogue between the soldier and the old man takes the story forward. The simple conversation reveals the characteristic traits of the speakers. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Lucid, clear, intelligible, easy to understand, reveals, shows, traits, qualities. Students, the writer has used very simple and easy to understand language. The simple conversation shows the qualities of the speaker. Now students, we will discuss the characters. The old man. The old man is the main character of the story Old Man at the Bridge. He is 76 years old and is healthy and physically fit. He walks 12 kilometers from his hometown San Carlos to the bridge. He has to leave his place because a captain told him to leave the town because of artillery fire during the Spanish Civil War. He has no family, but he loves his animals. He has the charge of 2 goats, a cat, and 4 pairs of pigeons. He is forced to leave his farm and animals behind, but he is worried about the safety of his animals. During his conversation with the soldier at the bridge, he reveals that he is not worried about the safety of his own life because he is a fatalist, but he expresses his deep concern about the safety of his animals. He tells the soldier that he is not worried about the cat because cats can look after themselves, but he is worried about the fate of other animals. He cannot get rid of the thoughts about the safety of his animals. Students, write down the meaning of difficult word. Fatalist one who submits to his fate. Students, the old man is the main character of the story Old Man at the Bridge. During the Spanish Civil War, he has to leave his hometown San Carlos due to artillery fire. He informs soldier during the conversation that he has no family. He informs the soldier that a captain has told him to leave his town and animals. He expresses his concern not about his own safety, but about the safety of his animals, that is his only family. This thought makes him depressed and sad. The old man symbolizes the men and women who have to leave their homes as victims of war with which they have nothing to do. The old man is a victim of the war like the goat, because the goat, unlike the pigeons, can't fly. He reconciles himself with his death. When the soldier asks him to catch a ride on a truck to Barcelona to save his life, he refuses to do so. The soldier takes pity on him and says there was nothing to do about him. Thus, he is worried more about the safety of his animals than his own safety. Students, here the old man is gripped by panic and anxiety. The old man is the symbol of victims of war. The old man submits himself to his fate and thanks the soldier for showing concern for his safety, and informs him that due to his age and tiredness, he is not able to walk. Moreover, the thought of his animal's safety doesn't allow him to move further. The narrator. The story Old Man at the Bridge deals with a soldier who comes in contact with an old man at the bridge where people are crossing to flee from the Spanish Civil War. The soldier is a scout whose duty is to cross the bridge and find out how far the enemy has advanced. He engages himself in conversation with the old man. During conversation, he comes to know that the old man is worried more about the safety of his animals whom he has left behind in his hometown than his own safety. On the other hand, the narrator is worried about the safety of old man. He tells the old man to take a ride on a truck to Barcelona and save himself, but he refuses to do so. The narrator feels bad about the inevitability of old man's fate and feels pity for him, saying there was nothing to do about him. He bemoans the old man's impending death. The conversation reflects the old man's fatalism and the narrator's despair in subtle manner. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Flee, run away. Scout, a soldier. Inevitability, quality of being certain to happen. Bemoans, express sorrow. Fatalism, the beliefs that all events are predetermined and therefore unavoidable. Despair, hopelessness. Subtle, fine. Students, the soldier who is the narrator of the story, Old Man at the Bridge, is the second most important character of the story. He comes in contact with an old man at the bridge while crossing the bridge to check how far the enemy soldiers have advanced. In starting, he doesn't show interest in old man's story, but after hearing it, he feels mercy for the old man's fate. He shows his concern about the old man's safety and therefore at regular intervals he encourages the old man to walk up to catch a ride on a truck to Barcelona. But due to tiredness, the old man refuses to do so. The narrator feels pity about uncertainty of old man's fate as he cannot do anything. Title. The title of the story, Old Man at the Bridge, is very appropriate because the story revolves around the old man who has left his hometown during the Spanish Civil War and has arrived the bridge for safety. It is at the bridge that the narrator engages the old man in conversation. The old man expresses his concern about the safety of these animals that he has left behind. He thinks that the cat will be all right, but he is worried about the safety of the other animals. The narrator is worried about the safety of the old man, whereas the old man is worried about the safety of his animals. The narrator asks the old man to get a ride on a truck and go away, but he refuses to do so. He remains at the bridge. Thus, the story has a suitable title. Students, write down the meaning of difficult words. Appropriate, suitable, engages, keeps busy. Students, the title of a story describes the story or a particular event in the story perfectly. The Old Man at the Bridge is a suitable title as the whole story is about the old man sitting by the side of a road near a pontoon bridge, who left his hometown due to artillery fire in Spanish Civil War. Style. Hemingway's style is lucid and easily intelligible. He is considered a master of dialogue because he makes frequent use of dialogues in his stories. In Old Man at the Bridge, the dialogue between the soldier and the old man is very meaningful. The way they speak is sometimes most important than what they say. What they choose to say illuminates source of inner conflict. Sometimes Hemingway's characters say only what they think another characters will want to hear. In short, he captures the complexity of human interaction through subtlety and implication, as well as direct discourse. We can say that Hemingway's distinctive prose style is recognizable by its economy and controlled understatement. Students, write down the meanings of difficult words. Lucid, expressed clearly. Intelligible, easy to understand. Frequent, repeated. Illuminates, throws light on. Conflict, a serious disagreement. Subtlety, cleverness. Implication, involvement. Distinctive, particular. Prose, a technique that exhibits a natural flow of speech. Students, the style in literature is the literary element that describes the ways that the author uses words, sentence structure, figurative language, and sentence arrangement that all work together to establish mood, image, and meaning in the text. Ernest Hemingway is known as the master of dialogues because he used dialogues repeatedly in his stories. Moreover, the conversation between soldier and old man is meaningful. And through the art of storytelling, Ernest Hemingway transforms it into a powerful story about the tragedy of war. In short, Ernest Hemingway describes the complex situation of war in a clever way. In a few words only, he describes the pathetic condition of common people during wars. This brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you have understood the theme, title, characters, and critical appreciation of the story Old Man at the Bridge. Now students, your homework is solve the questions given to you in your SNAP homework. Thank you.